sooner or later in our life, what we believe is a fundamental problem comes up. And that is the mode of life which I am adopting, I am following, I am living. Is that right? Or must I give up this type of life that I am leading? And do something else? In other words, is there a thing called undivine life? If so, what is it? Must I renounce something? Must I give up something? Must I drop something? Must I drop something? That's the most important thing. And do something else. There is a very important and beautiful verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Saktah karmanya vidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvan tatha asaktas chikirshur loka sangraham. The meaning is, just as an ignorant person lives here, works here in this world, functions in this world, in this society, with great selfish motive and attachment. Outwardly, the wise man also should carry on the same type of activity, but inwardly non-attached. That's the meaning. The essence, the key to the whole problem is not must I do this or must I not do this. That's unimportant and irrelevant. I may do this, I may not do this. But in being engaged in this activity, am I caught or am I free? That is the question. That is the relevant question. The question is not, is this job right or wrong? All jobs are right, all jobs are, no job is right. All jobs are right and no job is right. But am I caught in the job or am I free? Remaining in the most seemingly unspiritual atmosphere, if one feels that one has to be there for one reason or the other, except a selfish, profit motivated or sensuous reason perhaps, that is what we call attachment. One may have to be in a situation for various reasons, and if one does one's job in the right spirit, that will probably be the road to his salvation. Am I free inwardly? Not outwardly. Outwardly I may not appear to be free at all. It is probably to bring home this truth to us that in India we have several legends and stories which are current, seemingly exalting or condoning what you and I might regard as unrighteousness. I'll give you one. It's a very popular story. Quite likely you have read this or heard of this from somewhere. A young man decided to become an ascetic. What was his idea? He didn't want to liberate himself. He didn't want to attain nirvana or moksha or salvation or liberation. But he wanted to acquire supernatural powers. That was all. That was the idea. Just as the case of a young man who came to see our master long, long ago. In those days, the master was comparatively free. So this young man sat at his feet, looked at him, said, "Swamiji, may I ask you a question?" Yes. It is said in our scriptures that if a man engages himself seriously in meditation and austerities, even the gods become jealous of him or afraid of him and then place obstacles on his path. What form did those obstacles take? They usually took the form of some beautiful woman. The gods sent a nymph, a celestial beauty. She came and danced and did something, tempted him, and well, he got lost. That's the story. This story occurs again and again in our scriptures. This young man was asking our master, "Is it true?" And the master said, "Yes, it's true." Question number 2, does it happen even nowadays? Now the master was a bit intrigued. He looked at him and said, "Why do you ask this question?" Then he thought over it and said, "If such a thing is true, then I would also like to meditate." What do you want to meditate for? Those great ones, they meditated upon Atma, or, the self, and they wanted to free themselves from bondage. That was the idea with which they sat there to meditate. And the gods sent these nymphs to tempt them away from this goal. But what does this man want? This man wants the obstacle and not the goal. He is not keen on the spiritual goal. He wants the obstacle. So very often we do the same thing. This young man did not look for liberation, salvation or things like that. He wanted to have psychic powers or supernatural powers. So he sat there, meditating, praying and repeating a mantra and so on. He was still not sure whether he had any supernatural powers. One day as he was about to, he had had his bath and ablutions and so on, he sat there getting ready to meditate. Something fell on his head. He did this. What was it? A bird has dropped something. Yeah. First of all, it's a sort of pollution according to them, and so he had to take bath again. It's a nuisance. So he looked up. Who was this? Who did this? He looked up, and such was the power in his look. That bird was burnt instantaneously, caught fire. Then he wiped it perhaps with a towel, I don't know whether he took bath again, because his purpose was accomplished. He had some powers, supernatural powers. You can look at somebody and burn. Then he went to a village nearby. He was hungry, wanted to have food. Went to the nearby village. Stood in front of a house. Just then, a young lady, with a pot full of water on her arms, she entered the house. She had just come from the river. And he said, I want some food. She looked at him, nodded her head, went inside. That's all. And this holy man was waiting outside, this great yogi was waiting outside. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He was burning with hunger. What does that silly girl think I am? She doesn't know what I am capable of. Let her come back, I will show her. I'll at least burn her hair, he thought. And after some time, half an hour or so, in a sort of bowl, she brought some food. Do you know who I am? She said, yes, you are a very holy man. And so I brought you some food. But playing with fire. You know how long you took? Yes, half an hour. Of course I know. Because I was serving my husband and he is sick. Making me wait here. You know what I can do? He said, hey, don't be silly. Don't think I am also that bird. Good heavens, how did you know? How did you know what happened there? Take this. Please. Take this food, my offering. I have no time to talk to you because my husband wants me again. You better go to the next village. The last house in that village, you will find a man who will teach you more. Go. He took that food. He was not hungry now because he was curious. His his supernatural powers were useless in front of her. He stared and nothing happened. And she also knew that he had performed a great fun with the bird. Now, what was it? So he went to the other village. He hoped that the gentleman whom he was supposed to meet would be a great yogi with a lovely flowing beard and sort of sitting in Padmasana. And to his horror, utter horror, that fellow was a butcher. The last house was a butcher's house. And this young man was seated outside chopping mutton and serving his customers. He hesitated, this holy man, he hesitated even to enter that place. Probably there's a mistake. In the meantime, he had noticed, oh, Swami, did that girl send you? How did you know that she sent me here? It's all right, no man. There's no telephone, no, nothing at all. No walkie-talkie. How did you know? Come, sit down. I'll tell you. Then he served the remaining few customers, closed this affair. He said, Swami, please come in. He took him inside the house. There his aged father was lying ill, so he went first, bathed him, clothed him, fed him nicely, and then went and had his bath and so on. The Swami was sitting there and seeing all this fun. He was completely ignored. After doing all that, he came and fell prostrate at his feet. Maharaj, I would like you first to have your meal. Then we shall sit and talk. With his own hand, he brought all the food, served him, worshipped him, served him. Then he sat down, he said, please, what was the purpose of your visit? By this time, the Swami got up and fell at that butcher's feet. I have understood what it is. The answer, I have got the answer. I have got the message. And the message was that this is my job. What has been allotted to me. I do it not feeling elated about it, but as something which is part of this cosmic existence. One may or may not justify the story, whether butchery is also a spiritual job or not. We are not discussing that aspect at all. So long as the world exists, somebody will have to do scavenging. Somebody will have to do the job of a carpenter, electrician, cook, gardener, poultry farmer, policeman, soldier. We may talk about an utopian society in which there will be no policeman, no soldier, no hangman, no magistrate. Okay. As soon as such a society is born, we shall all resolve that we shall not enter into such professions. Even now, it's up to you. You may not want to become a soldier, that's up to you. You may not want to become a policeman, that's entirely up to you. Depending upon your nature, for instance. My nature is, I can't possibly fight. It's useless. Not because I am a great yogi or saint or whatever it is. If he hits me, I can hit back. I am strong enough for that. But somehow I don't feel like it, that's all. It's part of my nature. I don't feel like hitting back. I don't feel I am superior because of that quality. No, not at all. Because I may do other things. I may do other things which he may not be guilty of. So one has to study one's nature. My nature is this, my qualifications are this, my equipment is this. And in accordance with that, whatever work I undertake to do, it's perfectly all right. There's no harm. And therefore, if this butcher was doing his work as part of this plan, this cosmic plan, without being bound by it, then he is also a yogi. What binds? Selfishness binds. What binds? Egotistic notion that I am such a wonderful chap. That is what binds. An artist, a dancer, a musician. All of these can be yogis. What is the difference? The difference is inside. And that difference, only that person can realize or notice. I saw an illustration of this in the ashram itself. One day, it was winter, It was winter time. And during the winter months, our master used to have a huge, lovely overcoat, double-breasted overcoat, which was very fashionable, nice, beautiful. And somebody from Canada had come, and she had presented him with a nylon material, which was as heavy as me, and yet because this devotee had given with great love, the master was carrying it around. We all felt sorry for him. It's very heavy. If I put it on, I wanted to collapse. Anyhow, and he was sitting there on a big sofa with a tabletop, glass top table, huge table, king size, double king size table. A lovely gold rimmed spectacle and gold pen, Parker pen, sitting there and majestically doing his work. A party of pilgrims had come. One of the members of this party was an old Orthodox woman from South India. The South Indians are peculiar people. When they come, I also belong to South India. They have set notions of what a Swami should be, what a yogi should be. If a Swami or a yogi is other than what is fixed in their mind, then of course they wouldn't accept. She had come into the office, peeped in. All of us were probably working, and our master was also seated there and doing his work. She didn't want to disturb anybody. She went out. Then another Swami was coming towards the office, and she asked him, do you know where Maharishi Sivananda is? And he said, aren't you coming from that hall now? Yes, everybody is busy there and the manager. And the manager was also busy, so I didn't want to disturb him. Who was the manager? The master himself. So I didn't want to disturb him, but I want to see the Maharishi Swami Sivananda. So far as she was concerned, the Swami Sivananda Maharishi must be a man with a flowing beard and matted locks and so on, sitting bare-bodied, looking straight at his nose in samadhi, that sort of thing. And this Swami took her by the hand and brought her to the office back again. That is Swami Sivananda. Oh, she said. I was there. Oh, it was charming, wonderful scenery. Oh. Yeah. And then she came close to the table. By this time, Swamiji had taken off his spectacles. He was sitting like this. And this old woman, you must, these village women, they are a class by themselves, completely uninhibited, unspoiled. She came close to Swami Sivananda and said, you are Swami Sivananda, And it was very charming, beautiful, wonderful. And he got up and said, yes, how are you? And she was thrilled, she was charmed. So we have our own preconceived ideas of what is right work and what is not right work. What is renunciation, what is not renunciation. We have all these set ideas. And therefore we are running from pillar to post. Whereas, whatever be the job, I don't say that you must keep your job, I don't say you must drop your job, that's up to you. If I am looking within myself, seeing the whole situation, I am here doing this job. Why? Am I motivated by some strange selfish desires? If so, can I do this job without those desires? Can I overcome those selfish desires? Still retaining this. What harm am I doing to myself or to others by doing this? Then probably I'll discover. I'll discover whether the job is suited to me or not. That's the point. Am I a square peg in a round hole? That is what we want to decide. And if I am the square peg in a square hole or round peg in a round hole, I am alright. Now, then all that I have to do is to remove selfishness, is to remove egotism. Once these are gone, the job is perfect. When the time comes, the job may drop from me, perfectly alright. When it drops is the moment of truth. It drops from me, somehow it drops. Either I am kicked out of the job, or somehow some circumstances are so brought about that I am taken away from the job. Do I then regret it? Then I am attached to it. There is some ego involvement. Perfectly alright. If I happen to be there, alright. If I happen to be removed from there, also alright. If I am not clinging to it, how will I know? Only I can know. Nobody else can know. Nobody else can know. And the renunciation that Krishna preaches in the Bhagavad Gita is a renunciation not of a particular type of action. No. Action need not be renounced at all. Cannot be renounced. I cannot, nahi kachit kshanamapi jatu tishtat yakarmakart. I cannot remain idle. Even for a split second, my hands become yellow. If I am idle even for 5 minutes, my hands become yellow. So, in other words, in order to keep myself healthy and alive, I have got to be active. Sharira yatra vichare na prasiddhyet akarmanaha. Even in order to live here, I have got to be active. And active means to be active in this world, to function in this world. Means again, there are millions of different types of jobs in this world. All jobs are right. Since I have to be active, if I am active just because I have to be active, then no job is wrong for me. I can do anything. Can I do anything? Yes, you can do anything. Provided you realize I am doing nothing at all. I don't have to do anything. It is there. The job is there. It is there in God's plan. In the economy of the world, this job also is there. And it is the divine will that I am there to fulfill this task. It shall be done. I am not doing it, it shall be done. So long as it is the divine will that it shall be done. It shall be done. Will I be sloppy in doing this? No. Because it is the divine will that is making me do this. So while I am there, I am all there. 100%. This is one of the greatest lessons that one learns from this story called the Mahabharata. I'll mention only one character to you, that is the character called Bhishma. He was the mightiest hero of that time, mightiest hero. And you know the story of the fight between the wicked 100 and the noble 5. This hero was in the palace of the wicked 100. He happened to be there. That's all. Why was he there? He happened to be there. And when war was declared, what was he supposed to do? He was in the employment of the wicked 100, so to say. He was not actually under the employment. He was their grandfather. Still, he was in the palace. And the wicked ones declared war against the noble 5. What was this noble hero supposed to do? His heart was entirely with the other side, the enemy. Should he walk over? He says, no. I have been with these people all my life. They have been my hosts. They have looked after me. They have fed me. They have clothed me. They have housed me. How can I let them down just when they need me? I want you to enter into the spirit of this. A yogi is not an ungrateful man. He is so human. Probably he is the only human being, the others are not. So he manifests in his life extremely human qualities only in their pure form. He is very human. He is not inhuman at all. He is not cruel. He is not wooden-hearted. So he says, oh no, I am going to fight for these wicked people on their side. Don't you know? Yes, of course I know. I know these people are wicked, they are unjust, and justice lies on the other side. All my sympathies are with those people, with the noble 5, and yet I am going to fight here. Sounds like hypocrisy, is it no? No, there is no hypocrisy here. Hypocrisy is when you do something which you say you are not doing, or when you manifest some kind of a nature which is not yours. He says there is nothing, no hypocrisy at all. I am saying plainly. These people are wrong, they are right. But since I have been with these people all these years, I am going to fight on the wrong side. That's all. I am plain. There is no hypocrisy here. I am truthful, honest. Good. Then, who is on the other side? His own extremely beloved disciple, Arjuna. This man has to fight. Fighting, he says, I am a warrior and you are also a warrior. I know you are right. You are a good man. But I am on this side, you are my enemy. Hit! It is said that when this Bhishma hit, it was like thunderbolt. Every time. The duty has to be done. The job has to be done. The job has to be done. And yet, he loved him. This love or hatred has nothing to do with the performance of our duty. It is there. It has to be done. What has to be done? The divine will has to be done. So long as I am in this job, I will do that job perfectly well. If it is dishwashing, it shall be done perfectly well. If it is sweeping, it shall be done perfectly well. Here is the test. Am I doing this half-heartedly? Then I am a hypocrite. Is it clear? Huh? Why am I doing this? I am not doing this at all because I am selfishly motivated, but I am doing this because I am there. I am doing this just because I am there. Something, whatever it is, whatever be the cosmic power that maintains this whole universe, has placed me there. I'll do it. I'll do the job perfectly well. The power or whatever it is that put me there knows jolly well how to take me away when the time comes. It will happen. And it shall happen. If this is not for me, if I am not supposed to do this, then that power will remove me, take me and put me in some other place. At that time, do I regret it? Do I want? No. Then I am again on the wrong path. So it is when the moment of truth arrives, the two questions are, so long as you are there, are you doing your job 100%, feeling this is what God wants me to do? And when the time comes for you to be taken away from there, are you still longing for it? Therefore, one has to be extremely vigilant, alert, and looking within, observing oneself. If one observes oneself constantly, and ensuring that the spirit in which he lives and functions in this world is the right one, then there is absolutely no job in the world which needs to be shunned by us. It is possible again that, for instance, can I be in charge of an abattoir? May not. My whole nature rebels. I just can't be there. Not because of any moralization. It's not in my nature. So that the divine will also will not push me there. You understand me? Huh? But when it comes to singing, you have got your own special talents, and the divine knows how to make use of those talents. It shall so happen. And it may also happen that you drop there and go away. For instance, when I learnt typing as a young boy, I never knew what was in store for me. It's all right. There is a typing institute. I went there and studied. Then got into the government service and so on. I worked as secretary somewhere. It wasn't very palatable. Okay, I'm there. I'll do it. All the training that I got from all those things were of tremendous use when I went to the master. It's only then I realized, I thought, why was I put there? Why was I put here? Why was I made to work in the government of India? All those things became useful eventually. One by one, it comes to you and it drops. It comes to you and it drops. It comes to you and it drops. Each one preparing you for the next one, for the next step. What is it? Again, I must stress this, which is extremely essential. I don't want to justify what happens. No. There is no justification. There is no condemnation. I don't say, this is a lovely job, I must do it. I don't want to do it. There is no question of this being a lovely job or not lovely job.